Do you have like questions you're gonna ask me, or
We're
is it
rolling. We're rolling live.
okay?
So let's start with your name and let's talk about your background.
Sure. My name is Alex Briggs. I grew up in Maine, working on farms in the summers and things like that. And then I moved to Montreal to go to school at McGill University. I've been studying mechanical engineering for 4 years, and my interest in it is basically to do just what you guys are doing, to like work on a farm and make it as autonomous as possible, growing and then processing our own energy and food and anything else that we can. Last summer I spent the summer researching natural fiber composites. Um, and then just recently I was talking to someone about like agroforestry, and I don't really know if fiber composites are even worthwhile. Like maybe wood is just a better, easier way to do it. But in any case, I'm interested in looking into those sorts of things, and a lot of what my research was looking for good natural resins, because they have natural fiber composites, but usually they just use like petrochemical resins anyway, so it defeats the purpose. It's not biodegradable, and it's not as cheap, and it's not oil independent. So that's something I'm interested in. But I mean, I've studied permaculture. I really like trying to work out systems so that the waste streams are reused, and um, I'm, I guess most recently I've been really interested by gasification, because either using a Stirling engine or maybe bleeding off some of the syngas, you could get your electricity from that, and then you're left with the biochar, which you can mix in with the compost that you get from like eating your food and cooking it and everything. And I could just see it working in these like wonderful closed loops of like permaculture, where you use every part of it and then put it back with the land and everything. Um, so yeah, I guess that's
Okay, so
like
if you could wow, my voice just cracked. If you could focus on the mechanical side or the agricultural side, which one would you prefer?
the mechanical. I have um, a good bit of experience with the agricultural, um, and I'd like to help out with that stuff. But what I'm really interested in is the kind of hands-on mechanic work. I've started fixing cars and like kind of little general stuff like that. And in school I had a class on like lathes and mills and machine tools, but I don't feel confident. I don't feel like what I really want to be able to do is to do just what you guys are doing, is build the tractors, build the machines. And at this point, I really don't feel like I would be able to do that. So that's my real interest, definitely.
Okay, so that's also what seems like that's what you want to get out of it too. Can you talk more in general what you want to get out, like what skills and also what's your long term vision for the skill use?
Mm-hmm. So the skills, just like everything that goes into manufacturing and prototyping um, and building these machines.
Hey
I
man,
have
can you,
some experience.
are you? Is there somewhere you can shut a door so you don't have outside? You have ambient noise coming through.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't really. I'm in a closed room now.
Okay, you're maybe it's on my end. I usually don't have that. That's why I asked you about it. Let's just go ahead
Yeah.
and keep going. That's fine.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out where the microphone is. Um. Yeah. So Um. Uh. Yeah. Everything to do. Oh, I had some experience welding. And like some experience grinding and some bits and pieces that I've managed to find, but not the cohesive, like building of machines that I really want. And then what I want to do with it after is to start an autonomous farm, possibly a number of them a lot of my friends, I like kind of have the same dream, and I'm kind of the only one of them that is going at it from a mechanical perspective. So I think that I have a lot to share and bring into those groups. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of tied to the Northeast. I have connections in Pennsylvania and in Maine and in Ontario, and those are both the places that I feel kind of rooted in terms of the bioregion, and also where I have roots. Um, so I would hope to move back east, and if I were to like, if ideally I were to get this apprenticeship and learn the things that I need, then I would think of moving back east and starting up things there. But I'm really, I think that your organization is doing pretty much exactly what we all should be doing, and so I'd love to be a part of spreading that around the country. And if it doesn't, if I'm more used to you guys and to the general mission out in Oklahoma, then I would stay there or go somewhere else. I Yeah, this is really what I care about. It's my passion, and I'm happy to do whatever.
Okay, awesome, man. What is your availability this summer?
Um, I was thinking more. I mean, ideally, I was hoping more for the fall and winter. But I have a job at a farm in Maine, that I'm planning to do. But it's pretty open. It's just like a cooperative thing. I'm gonna go there and get to live there and farm there, and then uh, and have my part of the. It's a sharecropping, I guess. Have my part of the harvest. And there's lots of space. Like I could change my plans basically.
Well, what's an ideal time? There's no rush. I mean, what's an ideal time for you to come?
Like mid-September to whenever would be ideal.
Okay.
I've got like kind of towards the end of this growing season, but um, but yeah, like I said, I'm pretty flexible.
Okay. So you're thinking mid-September you could come out and live at the farm and be an apprentice and learn the skills and help out with everything we're doing, and you're down with the open cultural side of it, transparency, and doing video documentation. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool, man. Do you have any greenhouse experience?
Yeah, I worked in a greenhouse not last summer, but the one before. Just tending tomatoes. I don't have a lot more experience, but I do. I'm gonna try when I get back to Maine to build some cold frames out of. I've heard that you can iron plastic bags together to make like a thicker, clear plastic. I don't know. I'm gonna try that, but
That's pretty cool.
no.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
so abundant.
yeah, exactly. Like just cold frame everything, which is kind of important in Maine because seasons aren't that long. But yeah, so a little, but not a ton. And I guess those were more like cold frames too. They were plastic greenhouses, but they were good anyway. Um, yeah, I have some.
Okay, cool. Since since you're thinking of coming more in the fall, I'm gonna kind of slow down the interview at this point. This is a good introduction. I won't ask you a lot of more intensive questions about trying to get because we're trying to build a team by July 1st and prototype our product runs at that time. Um, you seem like a great fit. Um, so the next step would be for you to meet with Martin. But since I've got so many people that we're trying to fast track interviews with, are you cool just hanging on for a little bit? And we'll be back in touch in sometime over the next couple weeks, and we can talk more about how to really get some intentions going for September. Is that cool?
Yeah, yeah. Do you Can you give me any kind of like percent chance that this will work out? Just because
I'd say there's an excellent chance. I don't see any obstructions. I mean, the one question I would want to get into is, have you ever lived in community before?
yep.
Can you talk about your experience with that?
Yeah, I'm really interested in it. I think that it's like as much as we need to change our technology to fit the world that we live in, we need to change ourselves in the way that we live. I've lived these 4 years in Montreal, and I guess I started living in collective houses 2 years ago. The experience has been great. My houses, I know that some houses have been like problems with the dishes and stuff, but I've always had really good experiences. Also, I guess growing up, my dad's family has like a cabin that we get to go to for 2 weeks, and we see all our cousins and stuff. And I guess that was kind of the first experience of it. Like everybody, like 3 or 4 people every night, getting together and doing the dishes for everybody, and then that rotating. So yeah, I really enjoy doing dishes in that kind of setting when you get like a good system down and you have like one person washing and that whole thing. We do gray water, and we share collective food, and yeah, it's all. I mean, it's about communication. If you have a treat that you really like, then you have to label it, because you can't really get angry at someone for eating something they didn't know that you wanted. But at the same time, sometimes you.
I mean, this is like falling in with the typical like northern Canadian stereotype. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like, have you ever stabbed somebody, or like have you ever robbed anybody in community? And you're like, no, well, the worst thing I've ever done is sometimes dishes get piled up. You know what I mean? It's like total different American. I mean, I know you're from America, but anyway, so yeah, you sound like you've definitely lived with people and made it work. I mean, that's not an issue, man. The dishes, that's the least of our concerns. So yeah, great, man. I'm gonna stop the interview. Hang on with me for a second.
Sure.
I'm gonna stop recording.